Hey, you guys, welcome to day 17 of coming back to you, Changing Tides Energy. I'm Audrey, and today I want to talk about trauma. I was almost scammed today. I am very keen and very intuitive and typically very aware. This is what happened. I had just gotten off of a call with my sister and my mom, and my niece's mom, my brother's ex, and we were planning for talking about my brother's upcoming service. So his death was on my mind, and I had um, just talked yesterday about potentially calling the police department and checking in on like his supplies or like the things that he was wearing when he died by suicide, and just they had some questions. And so I was talking about that. It was just kind of up for me. And growing up, I was super afraid of like the police. I was just afraid that like they were gonna take my parents away or take me away from my parents or something like that. I just had this really big fear. Like nothing actually ever happened until I was a little older, actually. But like the fear was there before it seemed reasonable. I would just say that's from trauma. Just stuff that happens, you know. Everybody does their best when you're raising kids, right? But like sometimes we grow while we're raising kids. I know I certainly have done that. So, um, anyway, when I speak of trauma, I don't speak of it in a place of like somebody did something to me or I'm a victim of. That's not healthy and that's not helpful for me, or for those relationships, because honestly, people evolve and people change. Like they can, you know, but they also give us information and tell us who they are. So it's like if what's the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over again and expecting something different. So long story to say, I'm rambling about trauma. I guess I'm just giving it, oh, cute little heart rock. I guess I'm just giving it just a face, like that it's okay. It's okay. Like many of us, most of us have experienced some type of trauma in our life. Anyway, so today I was like already kind of in the Titan state. I had just done this call. As you guys know, if you've been following my videos in this series, this has kind of been up for me. Like the fact that his service is coming up and to do some planning and preparing and everything like that, which just makes his death super real. And there goes the mallards. They sure don't like company on this beach. They'd rather have this beach all to themselves. I know that because earlier this afternoon I came out here and ran for a while on this beach, and they don't stick around for nothing. Anyway, so today, after this happened, after I had this meeting on a sailboat, which is pretty cool, paddleboarded into the cabin, had like kind of an emotional release a little bit. Um, really felt super close to my dad, felt like an eagle. Like literally, I had just said like a prayer out loud, paddleboarding, like said a prayer. And not because I thought I was going to fall in, but just because why not tap into like divine energy and source for support and strength. And so I did that. And you guys, right after I did that, this eagle that I didn't even know, this bald eagle that I didn't even know was sitting there, it was like literally perched on this tree right near the sailboat, right near the cove, super low down. And it right after I said that prayer, it swooped like right, like within like 15 feet of me. And I just lost it because that is how my dad has showed up since he has died. Is these eagles will just come out of nowhere and like almost dive bomb me at just the right moment. So however it goes for me, I receive my dad's energy and love and support through these moments with these eagles. And honestly, I didn't even think of my dad, who is no longer with us either, during this ceremony prepping, which was just like, wow, life is weird. Whew. Okay, so that's where I was at. Kind of heavy, kind of crazy. And then we go back out. I go back up to the cabin, and Scott's still in the wood box. We get on a phone with the friend, need some help in Homer. So we're gonna jet over here. I guess before that happened, we went back to the sailboat to kind of go shut it down a little bit because we thought we'd be off of it for the day. Well, we were. And so I was sitting there and my phone rang and I recognized immediately that as the Anchorage Police Department number. And I know that because as a nurse in the past in the community, I've had to call that number quite a bit. And not sure I'm going to be able to walk much further, guys. Pretty sure the high tide is like now or in like 15 or 20 minutes. Either way, if it comes up past this tree, I can climb up around those. I can climb on the grass. It'll be fine. I'm not going to lose the whole beach. And if I do lose the whole beach, I'm going to be fine. So anyway, okay, so this I get this call and I answer, and I like cannot understand this guy very well. But he sounds like he's speaking English, and he sounds like a macho man, you know? And he says with the Anchorage Police Department, and that basically, I'll abbreviate this whole thing for you. But basically, I spent 30 minutes on the phone with these guys, and they were telling me that I had missed jury duty, which is very plausible because I have moved. A lot of my mail didn't get forwarded, I'm sure. Like, well, it did get forwarded, but like, who knows how long they do that for? I don't know. I have changed my address like 3 times in the last year. I do not even know. Like, it is very possible that I have missed something. So anyway, they said that I'd missed jury duty, and then I started thinking like, well, basically they told me that because I have a clean record and all of these things that the judge is gonna waive it. It's a federal case, but they need me. It's a DN, did not receive and did not sign order. So like they were really going for it and saying things that like made sense. And anyway, at the end, after they transferred me to more people who didn't sound like, sounded like they were talking through like a voice transmitter thing or whatever. Anyway, towards the end, like, you guys, I'm freaking out. They're telling me that if I don't pay them, I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me that I have to pay a fine of $2,500 and another $2,500 just to get this cleared off my record so I don't end up going to jail if I get like pulled over or something. Like there's a warrant out for my arrest for missing jury duty, which is real, you guys. Like you do have to pay civil fines and you do have to like, you can go to jail for these things. And so I really believed it. Like I was believing it. And you have to understand where my state of mind was. Like just coming out of this fog of like dealing with my brother's stuff. And anyway, Scott was on the boat with me, thank God. But I could barely understand these guys and I was just panicking. So I didn't really include him in the call until I was just nearly gone, like out of my body. And they were basically threatening me. And I caught on and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds like fraud. And then they transferred me for non-compliance and just on and on and on. I spent 30 minutes of my life and now here I am spending 10 minutes talking to you guys about it. But basically the reason I'm bringing this up, first of all, I did call the police department locally and they were like, ma'am, it's a scam. And of course it was a scam, but this is what happened. Scott hung up the phone on these guys. And I was like thinking I'm going to jail, thinking the world's going crazy. All sorts of things are changing. Sometimes I check the news and read stuff I shouldn't. Like, it's not implausible in my mind that things could just really go crazy. So I had a trauma response, you guys. And what that looked like for me, I departed my body all of a sudden. Basically, my heart was racing for like that whole 30 minutes. It felt like max heart rate, just pumping adrenaline that whole time. And then I couldn't think clearly and I was panicky and my communication wasn't very clear and it was crying and just like, oh. And Scott is like very level-headed, does not have really a significant history of trauma at all to speak of, like very rare, very balanced. That was just like, what is going on, Audrey? Like what you were saying does not make sense. Like, please stop saying it. You're just like keeping this whole thing alive. And I was like, whoa, I have just been triggered, like big time. So I'm in a trigger, like trauma trigger. You're right. My brain is not calculating things clearly. my personality seems and acts different than what it truly is. I've gone into fight or flight. I've left my body. I'm not fighting, I'm flighting. And my past response was always fawning, right? It's like pleasing and all of that. Um, anyway, it was interesting because this is not the first time he's experienced like a trauma response with me, obviously. Share life together. But we're learning so much about that and like what that looks like. And today was just one of those days where I had the awareness in it and I was able to speak to him clearly and just say, like, I'm having a trauma response right now. Like, you know, please use caution with what you share with me and I will stop talking basically. Just until like my mind gets right because I do not want to like fuel and funnel all the trauma and the garbage like out. Like I don't want to breathe life into it. I need to like come back to center. Guys, this hijacked me. Like I felt totally hijacked, but I felt so grateful to have that awareness and then to have a partner who was able to share in that awareness. And we were talking about it later. And, I was talking about, considering talking about trauma today and coming back to you like from a trauma trigger. And, he really encouraged talking about as, like he can, like, he may speak to this sometime himself, but basically, as a partner, it can be if you have not experienced trauma before and you're in a relationship with somebody who has, or you know somebody who has, or whatever, and it happens, it can be super confusing because it's like Jekyll and Hyde, or like just a different personality, night or day. And to me, that feels very offensive because I'm like, I'm the same person. Like, I'm literally just hijacked by this crazy fear that doesn't make any sense. That is all about wiring that I had nothing to do with, but I can only continue to like evolve from and grow and expand in. So anyway, he is challenging, right? If you're in a relationship with somebody who experiences trauma, or triggers, who has experienced trauma and who experiences triggers, just from our experience, just encourage you to, just have an open mind. Try not to get hijacked into the chaos that they're going to bring into that situation while they try and navigate it. Try to stay level headed. Just speak simply, speak clearly the truth. When you get hijacked in a trauma trigger, your brain tells you things that aren't true. And it can be super confusing. It's almost like, for me, it feels like I almost dip into a different frequency, like my past life almost, before my healing journey became more prevalent than the trauma I was experiencing. So I'm super grateful, you guys, that he is able and capable of, like sharing that awareness with me so I can continue to grow and expand. And also, I'm super mad. Like, whoever those scammers are, I mean, this is the thing. I'm not naive, but I am just like, I just have always believed in the good. Like, I want to see the good. And that's the way I want to see life. And obviously, there are things that are not good. There is a lot of them. And in my past experience, I'm going to turn around now. I'll show you where I'm at before I do. Pretty little ocean. In my past experience, I am like totally, I can just get absolutely like hijacked and then it's like exhausting, right? And then you have to like come down and everything like that. I'm just so grateful that these moments are fewer and far between. Oh, my past experience, what I was sharing before I got distracted, was that when I read too much of the news or watch too much of the news or whatever, this is like years and years and years ago, I have serious nightmares. Like, it is not good what they share. It's for me, it's toxic. It's poison. There's nothing good that comes out of it for me. Zero. The best thing I can do for the world is take damn good care of myself and share it with you guys. That is the best thing I can do. And so I live in a little bubble. I'm inviting you into my bubble. It's a safe bubble. It's a place of healing and growth and expansion and awareness and joy and fun and acknowledging the hard and celebrating the good. And thank you for joining me in my little bubble. I just could not believe I was like almost scammed. I mean, I knew like I wasn't almost scammed. I was never going to give them my money or my personal information, but they had me so emotionally hijacked. And that was really super duper uncomfortable. Have you guys ever experienced that? Have you experienced that lately where you just like have an emotional response that just feels really significant and like it feels like it's connected to something in the past, like not something right now? Although I did feel harassed, bullied, intimidated, and threatened on this call. Like that's real, that happened. Um, so anyway, so I've also learned that it's best not to, put a positive lining on everything and spiritually bypass everything. Actually experience the life and the ups and the downs that happen. So anyway, I'm just checking in on your trauma triggers. How are they doing? Have you experienced them lately? What are your tips and tricks? If you do, are you able to like acknowledge it in the moment when you're in it and like give yourself space and take care of yourself and just like dive deep into self-care in that moment? Are you able to do that? For me, it depends on what it is. This felt really scary. The threat of going to jail felt really scary. Um, gosh, I can't even live in a city. Can you imagine me in jail? Oh my God. Anyway, crazy. But if you have experienced any type of trigger from trauma recently, I would love to hear like your coping strategies. And then also, I'm curious if you are not somebody who has experienced trauma, but maybe you're with somebody who has, or you're, your family or friends or somebody like in your life has, coworker maybe. Are you aware of it when it's happening? And how do you handle it? How do you cope for yourself? Do you have any tips or tricks yourself? I don't know. It's just another area where if we bring awareness to it and shine light on it, it's going to dissipate. It's going to lighten. It's going to lessen. It's going to dissolve into like the BS of the earth. Like we can just like let that stuff go. That there's people out there trying to cause harm to us. We can just not live in that shadow, but rather live in the light and the love of the support of our community. Thank you for being a part of it. And also just bring awareness to the fact that most people have experienced trauma at some point in their life, and we are not taught or conditioned in this culture to handle it or deal with it or face it or process it. And anyway, I think we can do better, and I think we're doing better. There's no good or bad. There's like no right or wrong. There's no judgment or shame in any of it. I don't like that I just said we can do better, but I just think bringing awareness and talking about it is helpful. So that's what I'm doing. I'd love to hear from you. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet, you can subscribe to my channel right there. And you can also subscribe to the playlist right there. I would love it if you did. If you're interested in continuing this journey, coming back to you, day 17. We're on a roll, and I'm grateful to share it with you. Have a blessed day.